Hello and welcome back to The Pen Man. I'm Mike West, and today our very special guest is the Pilot Varsity and the Pilot VPen. Why do I have one of each of these two budget introductory to the pen world pens? Well, I was on two websites researching entry-level pens that you could try out. It won't break the bank. It'll give you a good idea of what writing with a fountain pen would be like. And I came across a couple of the pens, and I'll be reviewing some other pens too. And in fact, jetpens.com, they actually have a call it an introductory set. I'll put a link to that in the description below. But it has 4 or 5 different fountain pens that are between $350, $450, so really not that expensive, and a good way to introduce yourself or somebody else. Because hey, we who like fountain pens, we who love fountain pens are eager to introduce fountain pens to other people. So getting back to my point, as I was in this kit that has the Pilot Varsity, but I wanted some other colors than what was in the kit that Jet Pens offered. So anyway, I bought all the pens separately. It's the same price to buy them separately. And as I was looking at the Varsity, I noticed that there was another pen that Pilot put out, and it was called the VPen. Well, I thought, well, this is great. I have 2 introductory pens from the same company. Pilot's a great company. And so I went ahead and bought one of each, and I got them in 2 different colors. Lo and behold, as the shipment arrived and I unboxed and I'm looking at these pens, I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. Got a Pilot Varsity and a Pilot VPen. Okay, but then as I was looking at I think I was checking out the nibs, whatnot. Anyway, just looking at the whole pen, I'm saying, man, these pens are very similar. And forgive me for my ignorance, but see, I've been in the fountain pen world for a few years now, and I'm still learning. So I did a little research, and sure enough, the Pilot Varsity is a pen that is primarily directed at least at the American market, perhaps the European market too. And the Pilot VPen is marketed more toward the Asian market. Now they're both available in each market. Obviously I got this VPen in the same place. I got the VPen in the same place as I got the Varsity. And so, but we're going to take a look at both of these pens today. So that's why it's boom boom over there, these 2 pens. Okay, so let's transition now to the measurements of the pen, as well as a look at the various colors that you can get these pens in, size comparison, and a writing sample. All right, great. We will see you on the other side. And don't forget to And now for a tour of the Pilot Varsity and the Pilot VPen. As I mentioned earlier, these 2 pens are exactly the same. You will see in the the colors, when I put up the colors, they come in the same colors. They are, there's no easier way or kinder way to put it, but they are made of cheap plastic, okay? That's what they are, cheap plastic. When you hold them in your hands, you feel cheap plastic. And you know what? That's okay, because these pens only retail for around $3.50 or so. You have, now we'll try to zoom in on these, but you have the grip section here, and it's a nice size grip section. Holds well in your hand. I have no problem with that. It doesn't feel too thin, and the pen itself is wide enough up here to where this pen fits nicely. It is a light pen, but because of the size, I think that, to me, that helps. Gives I'm a little more gracious toward my review of it. But again, I'm reviewing an inexpensive, bang around, take to school, give it to your kids to take to school fountain pen. It is a disposable fountain pen, which is one of the downsides if you, when you think of the benefits of fountain pens that I mentioned in another video, why I use fountain pens. These you will not reuse, you will throw them away. So the plastic and the metal all goes into the landfill just like any other pen. Plus, you're not going to typically, I'll give an exception to this here in a minute, but you will not be refilling these pens once they are done. Just like a regular ink pen, when they're done, you throw them away. This is a medium nib. It is just I'm assuming it's aluminum. It may be just a thin stainless steel type nib. Again, it is very, very cheap. Let's see if you can, I'll roll it around here. Maybe you can see these wings on the nib. There is, now I wasn't sure about this before, but there is an ink window in this pen, and I will try to help you to see it better, but I don't know if you could see the ink kind of slosh right in there. Let me put something white underneath that. Maybe that will help it to come through. I don't know, but anyway, right there, see this this kind of blue to black to yellow strip there? That's your ink window, and it goes down to about there. See, it's kind of slowly coming into view there. You got that on that side, and the same thing over here on this side. So you are going to be able to see whether or not you're getting low on your ink. The ink colors are distinguished by the cap and body finial. This is, they call it on here light blue, but I would call it more of a turquoise. When you see the writing sample, you'll understand what I mean. Okay. And then on the Pilot Varsity, you basically have all the same stuff. The clip on these are pretty weak, but I would say if you and if you bend it around too much, it's gonna, just like other plastic, it's gonna gape there. But if if you take care of it, it's not gonna come off. It's a strong enough hold there, and it's light enough to where the weight won't pull it out of your pocket. Like if you lean down, it shouldn't pull it out of your pocket. Now I mentioned ink windows. The Varsity also has an ink window, and here, I'll see if this helps. Here, you can kind of see it right here maybe. I hope the camera picks this up, but the ink window is right here on both sides of the Pilot, and it kind of V's down to about here. So you can see there, and then on the other side, it's good to have the other side as a window too, so you can see through, right? The other side you have the ink window, and it goes down to about here. Now I'm curious, at some point I'm going to empty these things out and see if there's some sort of filler down here, or if this whole chamber is open. And one of the downsides of the VPen / Varsity is that you can't refill them. However, I have seen on some other YouTube channels people doing just that, where they take the nib and feed and they pull it. You can pull this thing out apparently. Again, I don't know. I personally have not tried it. But you can pull this out, and then it exposes a hole to where you can either eyedrop, probably one of those what they call pipets. I guess that's how you call it. It's a long, skinny, just clear type of eyedropper looking thing. But it's long and skinny, and it really can hold a fair amount of ink in it. So you get some ink in that, and I would imagine it will fit in that hole. Otherwise, a syringe would work to fill that up. So you can keep it the same color, which we're not sure exactly what brand color, if they're even on the market to buy separately, or if you can only get them in these pens. Okay, there is your Pilot Varsity. Okay, here we have size comparison. We have the Pilot VPen, and you can also have the Pilot Varsity, the Pilot Metro, the Kaweco Sport Skyline, the Lamy Safari Terra, and the Bauer 507 Horses. And here they are uncapped, and here they are posted. Now for a writing sample of the Pilot VPen. Okay, so it is the Pilot VPen, and it is a medium nib. We are using some sort of turquoise ink. And then let's see here. Okay, decently wet ink there, or flow, but not too much. I think it does very well. As far as smoothness, oh man, you know, for a quote unquote cheap pen, this VPen writes very nice. Let's see, line variation. Not much. It's a cheap nib though, so take care. I wouldn't encourage somebody to try to do line variation on that. All right, let's see. Writing increases brain power. There is the flow's been good. Absolutely no hard start. It doesn't dry out. It just keeps up with you. How about reverse? What will this inexpensive / cheap pen do in reverse? I guess the color on this is called light blue, but I call it a turquoise. According to the little label there, it says light blue, but I call it turquoise. Okay, reverse writing. Reverse writing, look at that. Good night. Okay, so there's your writing. There's your fine. If you wanted this in a fine, you can write. And I tell you what, this is the first time I wrote with it on reverse writing. I tried it the other way, regular before, but reverse writing, it is smooth. I'm really surprised. There's no scratchiness to it at all. Really impressed with this pen. In fact, well, there's a little hard start, maybe because I had it over. Maybe I was holding it wrong. In fact, I am pleasantly surprised and happy because this pen that would cost you $3.50, $4 writes so nice. Now it is light in your hand, but I like the fact that it is has a a larger body to it. But folks, this pen wins it for me. I mean, I think I might. Well, I don't know. It's not going to replace everything, but I like it. Okay, how about the Varsity? Varsity is going to do the same thing, I'm sure. So we have, but it's a blue. Let's see, where's the label? Oh, this one doesn't have a label. Oh, okay. So the Pilot, almost a purpley blue. Pilot Varsity, medium, blue of some sort. And then, yep. Okay, same. Oops. Writing increases brain power, but not writing power. Oh my goodness. Sloppy. Same thing. Excellent. Makes me happy. I want to cry. Folks, I tell you what, I am I'm impressed. I just am impressed. These are cheap pens. Okay, let's just say it. The nibs are cheap. The body is cheap. The ink is nice. I like the ink. But my goodness, I mean, there are expensive pens that I have found that do not write as well as Pilot VPen and Pilot Varsity. So if you are thinking about trying to introduce somebody to the wonderful world of fountain pens, get them a Pilot VPen or a Pilot Varsity. You won't go wrong. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I want to thank you for taking time in your busy day to tune in to the Pen Man and to check out this review. And I encourage you to leave comments below that might not only help me to do a better job in reviewing pens and pen-related projects, but especially to help other viewers to know more about these products, because maybe you have bought the pen based on my review or some others' reviews, and you have your own 2 cents to throw in there. Hey, we're all just trying to help each other out. So, thanks again, and again, be sure to All right, and check out a couple of these other videos that might be of interest to you. I hope so. All right, thank you and have a great day.